Hello, everyone. Thank you so much once again for tuning in at the Voices podcast. Today, we have a special guest. We have a special voice. Today, we have a lawyer in the house. Today, we have lawyer Innocent Muramira. He's a divorce and family lawyer. He's one of the famous family lawyers in the country that we know so far. And he's here with us today to dissect divorce and, everything to do with divorce in the country and how you can actually be informed about if you're going through divorce or if you hope to go through divorce. You need this information. You can't escape this information. And actually, he's here to help us, delve deeper into divorce for the foreigners, for the Rwandans, and for everyone who thinks it's worth it. So help me welcome Mr. Innocent and lawyer Innocent. Good afternoon or good morning.
Yes, good afternoon, sir.
I gave you good afternoon and good morning because I didn't see you in the morning. And
yeah.
Now it's a good afternoon.
Yeah, it's good afternoon.
How are you, Innocent?
I'm doing well.
Are you doing well?
Yeah.
Actually, most people don't ask others whether they're doing well. What matters is to finish the work they're doing. But for me, I take it an extra mile and I have to confirm that I'm with someone who is well.
Sure.
Health-wise, you're fine and, you have no problem.
I'm doing well. And God has been good.
That's wonderful. On my podcast, it's my first time to have a lawyer. And I'm very excited to learn about law and, to talk about divorce in particular. Because today, I want us to talk about divorce. So, Innocent.
Yes, please.
Since 2014, a lot has happened. A lot of events have happened in divorce and in law and in justice in Rwanda. But today, because we are specific on law, I want us to help us understand since 2014 to date, what has changed, what has, been amended, what's new in divorce law.
Yeah, thank you. I take this opportunity to be here. It's been long. I think we last met some time back.
Some time back, long
But
ago.
to be on this podcast, it's a pleasure.
Sure.
And yes, you said you've not hosted lawyers, but then it's a beginning for you.
Definitely.
Yes. Today I'm having a family law divorce lawyer. That's what I call myself. But more or less, I call myself a legal advisor. Why? When we talk about the lawyer, maybe let me bring in that concept, is that anyone who qualifies and has graduated with a law degree becomes a lawyer.
Definitely.
So you find someone is a doctor, but by the virtue of having a law degree, he's a lawyer. Journalist, the same. But me, practically, I'm an advocate of the High Court. I'm a member of the Rwanda Bar Association and East African Law Society. And so...
Can you help us understand those,
to be a lawyer,
those titles?
Yes.
Most people say, I'm a lawyer.
Yes. I'm
an advocate. I'm a counsel. I'm a maître. So how do they differ?
I think maître is a French word which relates with the lawyer, any person maybe with a law degree and the like. But the way I take it, the way I understand is that becoming a lawyer, like in Rwanda now, in that context for the benefit of our viewers and followers, is that to become a lawyer in Rwanda, you must have completed a law degree from a recognized university. It may be in Rwanda or outside Rwanda. Once you come with that degree from outside, you have to go for equivalence at Higher Education Council in order for your degree to be given the validity and the enforceability in Rwanda. So to become now an advocate like Innocent, you must have attained a postgraduate diploma in legal practice. Not all advocates are lawyers, but all lawyers are not advocates.
All advocates are lawyers.
Yes.
Not all lawyers
are advocates.
So you can be a lawyer, but to be an advocate, you have to pursue another degree.
Now, the duties of a lawyer is to advise, help, assist his or her client, draft the documents. But a lawyer cannot represent or assist a client in court or before an administrative tribunal. Like we talk about tribunal, we talk about like Chigali International Arbitration Center, when we talk about Rwanda Investigation Bureau, it's only advocates
who can represent
are
you.
allowed. So, in summing up, after finishing a postgraduate, you have to be admitted to the prestigious Bar Association. Here we talk about Rwanda Bar Association, Kenya Law Society, Uganda Law Society, American Bar Association, and the like. So, if you have a friend outside there who claims to be a lawyer and he wants to represent you or your company,
Confirm
and
that
he or she
falls under
does
one
not have a
association.
card issued by Rwanda Bar Association, that one is not a real
It's a scammer.
person. He's not a scammer. He's a lawyer, but not an advocate. Yes. So me, I'm an advocate, and I'm a founder and managing partner of Matrimonial Company Advocates. And again, I'm not a general practice lawyer. No, I do few niches. I do immigration, family law, divorce, business registration and consultancy, litigation, and real estate.
Okay, where is your office?
We are located in Gikondo, Ireba House. We are more or less in the heart of Kigali.
Or more or less in the heart of Kigali.
Yes,
so
please.
if people need you, they can come to Gikondo and they will find
Yeah,
out.
but I have a running website 24/7. I'm a 21st century lawyer.
Definitely.
It's not that you are going to see the red suit.
You're everywhere. You are even on TikTok. I've
Yes,
seen
yes,
you
yes.
on LinkedIn.
You know, there is this guy who said that your education or your legal qualification does not help, is more or less important if it cannot benefit the community. And I'm sure before you invited me, you must have seen some of my work online.
Definitely.
And so I again borrow the words of the art philosopher and the writer that your education or your academic intellectualism is as equal as nothing if it cannot benefit the community.
Definitely.
And through the social media is how we have uplifted the people to understand the basic rights, like the topic we are going to talk about. Because it's going to be hard. When you come to see an advocate like Innocent, you pay consultation.
Definitely.
But when you go to my Facebook, my LinkedIn, my TikTok channel,
If they come to us at the Voices
Yeah, you won't
podcast,
pay.
You don't pay. You get free consultation.
the voice says, I don't know the rules of the house.
Okay, cool. So,
Yes,
actually, as I had asked you earlier, that a lot has happened since 2024 on family law and divorce. Can you drive us through that line and tell us what has changed up to date and what really people need to know about that new law, if there's something that has happened as a new law?
Yes, thank you again. There are several things which I would like us to share and for the benefit of our viewers and followers, because we always say law is made out of space and time. Do you understand what I'm trying to mean?
It is made out of space and time.
Yes.
What does that mean?
We won't have a law unless we have something it is coming to cure, unless it is coming to give a solution to something. You know, before a law is made, there are policies, there are what, like the GBV. Before, people used to think that yeah, that's the
That's how
Kinyarwanda
they're
thing.
built.
Yeah, but as the society transformed, as the things continued to change, as generations continued to change, people realized that having a negative sentiment and discussion with your partner, it does not have to be a physical one. It can be emotional, it can be psychological, it can be financial. That one can be taken as an abuse. Therefore, we won't have a law unless something like that has been detected.
That it seeks to resolve.
To resolve. And then the legal drafters are smart to look for the solution for that. Why? We are talking about the recent law of 2024 in regard to family law in Rwanda, and it came with massive changes, which some of them were not captured or were not in the law, the family law,
family law.
20 family laws, because we had one on the matrimonial regime and we have one on the family and persons 2016. But look, there are several things which were in that law which are not in this law. And again, law is made to cure something, like as we have said.
Definitely.
A key point is on, let's talk about marriage. Yeah, because before we reach divorce, there must
We
be
need
marriage.
to start it somewhere, yeah.
And now, I know many people love this. When we are adolescents, 13 to 19, the blood is hot, everyone is seeing ABCD, there are many body transformation things happen. And before the new law, in that way, a lady of 19 or 18 is impregnated by someone. And then the law is saying you can't marry her. You know, because the age of majority was
21.
18.
18, yes.
Yes, it is still 18, age of majority, voting and ABCD.
Definitely.
But the age of marriage
was 21.
Was 21. Now, the legal drafters looked at that there was an issue. Why? There are people who are having far-reaching issues of which may be corrected or rectified and marriage can go on. That one does not mean that you will wake up from Gikondo or Nyarutarama and you go to the sector and you say, I want to get married at 18. That's why the new law brought in that issue element of you must seek permission, authorization from the district civil registrar.
What are some of those elements that are under that?
Let me give you an example. There are people who are, let's say, you see, it depends on the circumstances are different. Each case has different facts. Some people may be sick, and that is her only chance of getting a kid. Or I innocent, I'm traveling, I'm not gonna be in Rwanda for good. I'll come back after 3-4 years, and this is my wife, for one I intended to marry. So each case can be addressed depending on the facts. But the people whom we...
So each reason can be accepted depending on what is backing it.
I would say that, but like as they say, those people, they are also trained to understand which one is justified, which one is baseless.
Definitely.
So let's hope the ones who will apply, their reasons will be justifiable.
Okay.
Now, one thing that has been reflected in the new law is that the age of marriage is now 18 and 21. Based on what we have just stated. So the law of 2016 did not talk about that. Therefore, my friends can follow that legal provision and get married without having to wait for 21 years. Another thing I would talk about is that there's an aspect, a new aspect, I think before off air we talked about it, prenup. Prenup is a new thing in Africa. Yeah, I know even in Rwanda, because from a country where I was born from, I think I got to know prenups after attaining my second degree.
Yes,
you understand?
Okay.
Because that's when I started doing too much of reading about family law and ABCD. You know, in law we say a good lawyer is not the one who knows the law. It is the one who knows where to find the law. My friends would say a good lawyer is the one who knows the judge.
Where you come from?
You have never heard of that?
Where you come from?
Yes, I come from. But in a profession, a good
lawyer is one who knows the law.
Who knows where to find the law. Not the one who knows the law.
Where to find the law.
The reason why I'm saying the one who knows where to find the law, you see, we are talking about issue of prenup. In 2016, few people knew about prenup. But now the prenup issue has been brought in the new law. What are the prenups? These prenups are like, these are agreements entered between the couples or spouse before the marriage is done. They are done before. We have prenups and postnups. So
between
the couples who are going to get married. Essentially, any agreement to be valid, I would advise in such things, these emerging agreements and legal ABCD, it's better to have a smart lawyer. Don't let your lawyer go on Google, download that document and feel what he wants. No. If you're looking for a family lawyer, business lawyer, IP lawyer, immigration lawyer, always take keen. Internet has changed things.
Definitely.
Not everything you find on ChatGPT, everything you find on Google, Bing and ABCD.
ChatGPT does not well know the law of Rwanda.
Yeah.
So it will just...
Even drafting like a prenup is not for everyone. No. There are things which have to be captured. Because usually I would say, it's a disclaimer, but people who always have prenups are people who are rich. Take it, leave it. You must have something to protect, and prenups normally come in to protect property and assets. So that one does not mean that Muramira who doesn't have assets does not need a prenup. Tomorrow you may wake up and
when you've busted money.
However,
then, yes,
a prenup only deals with the properties already acquired,
not
the ones which are going to be acquired. Or sometimes in the prenup, parties may decide to say, even the properties we will acquire after marriage, within marriage, will be separate.
That is post-pill.
No. That one comes later. But what I'm saying, once you have had a prenup and you have gone to the notary, everything has been done, you take it to the sector to before you get married. That one does not mean that prenups are replacing the matrimonial regimes. No, they are not. But it is a new element which has been brought in the law to cater for the emerging trends in the community. I know few people would know this, but right now Rwanda is welcoming a lot of foreign people. And like I said, many people would want to get married in Rwanda. And people from the western end or the southern end, they are used of such. So you find a person who is 55, 75 and above is getting married to a 24 lady who has just finished university, or who is doing well in business or in modeling and the like. And so most of those men would need protection.
Are you taking this to life expectancy?
Not life expectancy, but many people who are doing that, if you're to go by the statistics, either divorcees who have already acquired property and they wouldn't want confrontation from the children or their past marriages and the like, and so they want a new wave, a new era in the new marriage. We start, Jen, Tom, we are starting from here. This is what we have. We have nothing. We start together or we have nothing. So that issue of prenup has been good, and I think with time.
Have you done some prenups?
Yeah, I've done some, but you know,
with the foreigners, I know.
Even some guys from here, but you know, we are guided, and we are guided by confidentiality rule as lawyers.
Of course.
Yes.
So, how is the structure of a prenup? If you can give us a structure.
No, one thing I would put a disclaimer is that right now here I can't give you a structure, because if I give you that structure, you may find that there is something missing, or there is something, or it is too much, or one would say, why would he do this? I would advise to meet your family lawyer to prepare for you the best prenup. Because by word of mouth, I can tell you things and you find that they are aligning with what you want, or they are not aligning with what you would want to hear. So it would be prudent if you meet your family lawyer to draft you that.
Okay.
Yes.
What other things apart from the prenups?
Another thing I would talk about is that still on property. You know, before the law of 2024, in Rwanda, there was a matrimonial regime called community regime. It is still there. Now, it states that it used to state, even today it states that parties who are married under community regime, they share property, assets and liabilities equally. 50-50. Munyarwanda you will say twashakanye ivanga mutungo rusange. Iteko rategeka ko turagabana mu buryo bungana.
Can you talk about those categories, by the way?
Yes. Now, I think let's do with community.
Okay.
Because community is the one which is normally bringing issues. So look at the scenario where Innocent, who is 28, is marrying a lady who is 25, and Innocent has just acquired a car or a small house, 50 million plus, and 6 months in marriage is gone. I remember I did a divorce case which had taken place one day. Marriage lasted for one day.
Is that possible?
Yeah. It happened. It involved a Rwandan and a Kenyan guy.
One day. Let's say we had a wedding on Sunday.
It took place. No, a civil took place on Saturday. They had on a Friday. Everything turned around on Saturday. On a Monday, they were the first people on my office. They booked on Sunday evening. We filed the case on a Monday. Marriage, boom. Now, I'm not saying that they had married under community regime, but for them, they never had assets and they never had children. Mm-hmm. So we did the case and it got finished like in 2-3 months. They are now living apart. So I'm trying to show you.
Anything can happen anytime.
Anything can happen. We have done cases where I find someone gotten married to someone and the nigga disappeared. Sorry for the choice of words. The guy disappeared or the lady disappeared. And the guy is there. And one thing you should understand is this is where the law is hard. You have gotten married under community regime. One of the parties has disappeared. That means whether you buy a car, whether you buy land, sell that land, so long as your civil status indicates that you're married under community regime, you cannot sell without the presence of that person signing or issuing a power of attorney. Now I'm showing you where the issue is coming from. After having noted that, this new law brought in an element that it is no longer mandatory to share properties and liabilities equally if your marriage has not existed for 5 years. That is Article 156 of the new family law.
Regardless of which category of signing that you
sign. We're talking about community regime.
That's only on community regime.
Now, because the other regimes it is separate, or from day one, it is either separate or both of you're sharing what you have acquired. But now here, we're talking about community where we all go and raise our hands, touch the flag, say, you know what? Boom.
They no longer touch the flag.
They don't?
They no longer
Thank you for that for that clarification.
Yeah, they no longer touch the flag.
But what I would want to say is that, the law provides for those days for couples to be enlightened and taught about what they are entering in. Marriage is not just a walk-in thing. It's not a walk-in, walk-out thing. Things happen. Remember, you're not marrying your sister. This is the person who's coming from another family, is meeting you from another family. Okay?
Different background.
So a lot has to be learned. But where you find that things can't work out, I'm not going to be the person to advise people to continue living in abusive marriages because you're trying to preserve 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay? But where you find that it is the right to sign out, please log out. Now, getting back to the other 5 years, still the law provides that couples who were married under community regime at divorce, they share equally. However, it adds in the word however. If the marriage has not persisted for 5 years and one of the parties petitions court or requests court for property not to be shared 50-50, court will take keen interest in adjudicating and examining that matter and rule on their request. Why? You find people who get married and out of nowhere, someone acquires ABCD and you find someone is taking massive loans, someone is doing what, and that loan is not used in the best interest of the family. Haven't you seen those things?
Yeah, they happen a lot.
There is money lender, someone goes to the money lender, gets money, you don't know about it. Someone buys the car, remains in other people's names and the like. And then you find
all that accumulates on the family.
Yeah, because the law literally says it is 50-50. But now, the new law came in with that aspect of 5 years. To sure, these are the people who claim that now innocent, if I get into innocent, I can scoop this one. If I get into Jane, because she has already attained, build her awareness, build her brand. I can earn half this from her. So, please, the street is no longer the way it used to be. If you have a smart lawyer, will advise you on that provision.
So
Yes.
does that actually concern, or does that facilitate every person who is getting married today, regardless of whether it's a community, you call it, these ones who go in the Murenje, in the sectors and raise their hands and get married? Does that concern everyone who is getting married, or it is a certain category of?
You see, in Rwanda, we have only one recognized marriage, civil and monogamous. Then I would want to tell our viewers and followers that even before you get married, if you cannot afford a lawyer, befriend one.
A good point. If you can't afford one, befriend one who you can talk to.
I'm telling you, because these things we are doing, even what we will discuss in a few minutes to come, the divorce agreements and the like, it's better when these agreements, the prenups, those community regime and what, you enter into something you understand. You know, when I was studying under English law, marriage is an agreement. Did you know? You Google after this one. The law says marriage is an agreement under the English law. So whenever you sign an agreement, you should be bound by it. And to be bound by an agreement, there is a presumption that you understood what you were entering in. So after reaching there, you won't say, I didn't know it was going to be like this, but yet the virtue of giving that testifying and raising your hand and touching ABCD, you have already consented and you're going to put in place, in action, what you have agreed. Yes. So that one, 5 years. Mark it. It was not in the other law.
It was not in the
It was not in the other law.
So it's an advantage to the whole community now. It's an advantage to everyone.
You know,
we
law,
don't say that it's an advantage to someone or in particular.
for the benefit of our viewers, laws are not made by one person. I always hear that, no, this law was put because of this, this law is coming to control this one. No, law is made for the whole community. That's why it still goes, and I found it was like ignorance of law is not a defense.
Definitely. So the prenups, what do they include in the post?
You see,
we saw the prior prenup and the post prenup.
No,
Pre-prenup and post.
I would think, let not drive the intention of this podcast more so is to keep the families together. Okay. But when we go the post, let's first keep the family together.
You know why I asked it? There is someone who have heard us saying that there is pre-prenup and post-prenup, and has had the pre-prenup, but is not sure the post-prenup in case maybe someone is into that process. Is it like also you talk about like now we have this, but going forward, this is the agreement you're going to have?
You see, the benefit of this podcast is to benefit the community, and they have to learn. And under the Rwandan justice system, usually what we call like a post-prenup, it's called Ivanga Mutungo. Have you ever heard of Ivanga Mutungo? It's called matrimonial regime. I would equate it to change of matrimonial regime. That's what I can put in the line of post-nups. How does it work? You know, you may wake up and you find that the matrimonial regime like community is no longer helping you. What do you do? Do you go in the bed and sleep and cry? No, that's why I told you.
You seek justice.
This is why I told you. Seeking justice, not everyone knows that provision exists, by the way, of changing matrimonial regime. People think that if I was married in a community, I will continue in the community until either this separates us or divorce separates us. But you can change matrimonial regime without filing a divorce.
How do you do that?
I've done this one several times, you know. I brag.
And what are the benefits of that?
I brag. I've been a family lawyer for 8 years, and we have seen a lot. So, in this context, there are legal provisions in the law which provide for the change of matrimonial regime in regard to the best interest of the family. Yeah. It has to be in the best interest of the family.
Of the entire family.
Yeah. And there must not be issues regarding trying to intermingle, to hide properties, to play games. No. Even, courts, those people in courts are trained to attain, to discover, to point out those things that someone is playing games. So you have to file a case to the competent court. Usually it is primary court when you're changing matrimonial regime. And it does not take a lot of time. Yeah, it does not take a lot of time. And now, with it does not terminate marriage. Marriage continues. That's the postnuptial, I'm telling you. You wake up in the middle and you be like, we have acquired this. But the way how money is evacuating, or the way how money is disappearing, I cannot tolerate. Dear, why can't we sit down with our family lawyer? By the way, I also want to bring in this aspect. People, you should have your personal lawyers. World over, it has proven that it is one of the best and it is advantageous and cost effective. You should consider having one. Or having one for the company.
It prevents you so many costs.
A lot. Because now we are discussing family law, but it may be a matter of multi-million. And you need someone to check what does Article 17 provides for. It can be a matter of employment, and your boss is hiding a certain provision at Article 14. You understand? So a benefit of having such a family lawyer or personal lawyer, one would look through into those documents. Okay? So in continuing, we said it is done, change of matrimonial regime is done by primary court, to the court with the competence.
And the only reason you can give
it has to be in the best interest of the family. And again, he who alleges must affirm. If you're filing a case in any court, you must have justifiable reason. You want to wake up and you say, me, Muramira innocent, I'm changing the matrimonial regime I had with my wife, Jen. Sorry to use Jen. If you're there and you're called Jen, big ups. But again, you must be having a reason. But you have to show that either there is an issue which is affecting either the finances, you don't know what is happening, money is disappearing, property is ABCD, so, and you're saving for the future. So what I can say is that change of matrimonial regime does not terminate marriage. No. So I've seen that several times.
That cannot be enforced on one party, but it has to be under negotiation.
Usually, if both parties file together, it is done expeditiously. Because it is more or less of an amicable settlement. It is more or less of a consent judgment. So it is done expeditiously. But when it is done by one person, then it is a case like other cases. It may take like 6 months and above. But at the end of the day, when you're looking for justice, you can't get tired. Though justice delayed is
justice denied.
Yes. So another aspect I can bring in regard to the new law is that divorce was made clear.
But before we go further, why can't we talk about, let's assume there is or you wanted to bring it after that. Let's say proceed. Someone they've had divorce, they've divorced, and one party is seeking custody of his or her maybe 2-year, 3-year-old child.
And I think
where do we leave children in this new law?
Whenever in a family law, usually you parties can fight, but the children are always the platinum, they are always the omega, they are always ABCD. And when courts are deciding custody cases, divorce and the like, the best interest of the children. I think even the African Charter on Children and all those treaties which have been signed internationally and locally, they all point at best interest of the children. Let parents fight. But at any time, children should never, ever be victims of the other two lions fighting or elephants. You get it?
I get it.
In whatever you do, even the state, the community, the country will always say, man, those children do not belong to you. They are the children of the state.
But there is this misunderstanding about, in communities we hear it, that usually when you divorce, the parent who remains with children is likely going to get more percentage of the properties. I've heard it many people speaking about it. Can you clarify more on that? How does it work if someone remains with children in regards to the property sharing?
Yeah, apples do not fall far from the tree. That is an African mindset and a traditional mindset, because I've had it when I was growing. But
you've had it too?
Yes, for the benefit of this podcast, I think someone is going to learn it today. Under the Rwandan law, it is no longer mandatory for children to bequeath or to inherit their fathers or their parents' assets. Okay? If you happen to give children assets, it is a free will, it's a gift. That's number one. However, the new law again brought in the element that even after divorce, you are not supposed to sell and dispose of all the properties when you're still having children in school.
Educate them.
Yeah, some people could dispose of everything and be like, yes, the law says they are my property. I can do everything. But now the new law has come in place to say, okay, you have sold everything. How are we sure that the future of these kids will be protected?
Is it a change in the recent one?
Yeah, it is in the new laws where you cannot dispose all the property. There must be something that will be left in term to cater for the education and the like.
And that has to be calculated whether it's going to cater for it until when
like
finish.
I said, when we are filing cases, your lawyer has to look for the worst case scenarios.
That can happen.
Don't just look at the short term. I'm divorcing to marry Jane. I'm divorcing to marry Innocent. No. Because we all know where divorce ends usually. Couples will still marry each other, but the kids will remain victims. So, in that way, even before court decides to grant custody, there are several aligning things court bases on. One, it would be the environment where the kids are going to grow from. It can be an issue regarding the capability of a parent. And gentlemen and ladies, having your money does not do anything in the custody case. Saying that I'm a multi-million dollar, I drive a GX, VX, Range Rover, I have a big mansion in say area, a prime area, that does not calculate. No. Court will even order you to rent a house in Kagugu, Jikondo, Chimirongo for your wife. Then for you are living in Reveronya, Rutarama and the like. Because court looks at the best interest of the children. You are maybe like Innocent and you go home at midnight from office. You don't know whether the kid has slept, whether has eaten, whether has done homework. So, my dear, I still come back that divorce, you need evidence. In a custody case, that's where I've seen men cry in court.
No, let's finish children first and then go to divorce.
I've seen men still on custody. But you don't look. I think yes, I made a video recently that I've seen parents break. People whom you call rich. I've recently discovered that the fathers whom we say that don't have the big bond, they are massively connected with their daughters and sons. There is no father who wishes to lose attention or touch or bond with the child. If you're a parent, I'm a new parent. There is that bond I have with my daughter. There is the bond you have with your kids. And usually, when we are dealing with custody cases, there are issues of visitation rights. You find that someone is requesting court to grant just 1 day in a month. And then a man has to pay school fees, ABCD. Those are the orders for court. But deep into you must learn that those children are there, the parents are not going to change. Now, let's tackle the most aspect that people do not or underestimate when in custody cases. I've seen, not only in Rwanda, even in Europe and everywhere, where your online presence, your social media can affect your chances of getting custody. Do you know where I'm going? Right now, we have a lot of social media platforms, and some people are using them for useful purposes, and others are also using them for the so-called useful purposes to gain the 15 minutes of fame. And those 15 minutes of fame can affect you or can take away the bond with your family. I recently witnessed a case in the United States where a parent was caught in a club popping those expensive drinks late in the midnight. That video of 20 seconds was used in a USA court. And
it was used against him.
Yes, and what I would like to tell you is that in Rwanda, under the new laws of ICT, today, electronic messages are allowed and admissible as evidence. Why? That audio voice note you will make and send to someone may be treated as evidence. That WhatsApp message you're sending, let me show you something. Your wife may wake up in the morning and say, Innocent, we need the money for breakfast. Or Jaden is going back to school, we need the school fees. You may reply the way you want and later send the money. Also, and you don't have proof that you sent that money. When you appear before the judge will ask you, because one will say, this parent, he's not been supportive.
You've not sent money. She asked, here we saw.
Yeah, because court is all about proof. By the way, why do you think people don't carry Bibles in the court?
I don't know. I didn't know.
Because Bibles are not used in court. Whether you swear 1,000 times that I sent them money, they will not bring the Bible to kiss it. They will tell you the law says, provide evidence. He who alleges must affirm. The burden of proof is on the party who alleges. If you say that you sent the money, okay, there are several ways electronically how to prove. Either it was a bank transfer, it was mobile money, it was MTN and what, and you cannot reserve those messages. But I've seen people lose custody, fail to get custody because of not having such evidence. And they lose cases. Now, again, online presence, what you post can be used against you in a case. If you meet a smart lawyer.
So you're trying to say that the current social media that is trending, we are on Instagram, we are on TikTok, we are on Twitter, whatever you put there, it can be used against you in the courtroom. One day,
most especially when it comes to family-related cases, custody and divorce. Yeah, because if you share, I'm going to use this word, if you share a video, standing on table, twerking. Twerking. It's not a party, it's not a wedding, it's not a birthday, it's not what. You are like, boom. And I'm sure if I present that video in front of the judge, or if another lawyer presented it, rebutting that video is not going to be easy for you.
It's not going to be easy.
Now, one parent would say, in the best interest of my children, I wouldn't want my kids to continue living in such an environment. When I was there, she was doing it in hiding, or he was doing it in hiding. But now,
look at her.
Look at her.
She's the real one.
Yeah.
That's the real
Yes.
person now.
And there are days when some guys are feeling nice and they are smoking what, doing ABCD, and
you're caught on that camera smoking
and
weed
you know one thing we forget is that internet does not forget. When you go there and you type, it will still come. So tomorrow it may be used against you. So
before you proceed, parents who are listening, who are watching us, be conscious about what you put online. Is it what you're saying? That once you become a parent, you've said earlier that anything can
not
happen.
only parent. I've talked about the use of electronic messages.
But in particular parents, because we're speaking to parents now.
In regard to this context, any parent, don't feel excited for the camera every time. No. Yeah. Because the video you made thinking that you were pleasing your visitors, pleasing ABCD, and you did anything thinking that it may turn against you.
So you're saying, let's assume I'm caught on a video, maybe in a club, banging someone with a bottle of, let's say I've got drunk and then I bang someone on a glass or something else. So that alone can show that this is not the right parent to stay with a kid.
Of course, that is violence. Because that is violence, and violence is criminal under the Rwandan laws.
Definitely.
So even one would build on it, and even fire becomes a ground of divorce.
Definitely.
Yes. So what I'm trying to say is that what we do inside and outside our houses, that we put in the camera, the immoral things we do, and we think we are just looking for the likes and 15 minutes of fame and celebrity, may affect. If one has the best lawyer and knows how to articulate, to link the facts with the law and evidence.
Definitely.
You'll be crushed, you will cry, but law is like that.
So, is there anything that you've left behind about understanding the
yes, what I can say is that when we talk about custody still, you need to know kids below 6 years, usually under the Rwandan law, states that cannot be separated from their parents. But where it is discovered that the so-called parent is incapacitated, is incapable, is not in their right mind to continue taking care of a child X, even a kid of 6 months will be taken away from you. And again, note, where it is discovered that the two parents are as, let me look for the choice of word, are as incapable as you can imagine, court can even grant custody to a third party.
And deny you all parents
all of you. You remember, if I could drive you, you remember when the days of Britney Spears. You remember Britney Spears?
I know.
She had the long battles regarding custody.
Definitely.
Yes.
I was reading.
When they could say she's incompetent, she can't do what, she's incapacitated, and ABCD. Even I remember she had issues with the dad and the father of the kids. Yes. I would address my mind on that. There are these recent issues of Kanye West regarding child support.
What is going on with Kanye West?
Kanye West and Kim Kardashian. There are this guy, this guy is a movie actor, Tyrese. If you talk about also custody, it comes with child support. Some parents use it as a way to revenge on their counterparts. Someone would tell you a lot of money of which you can't afford. You may find that you are fighting custody battles, but also the child support, like in Western world or in USA. When we talk about custody, we don't look at the visitation and ABCD. The most biting factor is child support. Yes. So that's what I was saying.
The rest comes after.
The rest are there, but the word of child support. Yes. So those are the few things I think. One thing about custody you have to look at, and again, the visitation rights should not be also an issue of revenging to someone. Kids should grow in a conducive environment. You're my dad, I'm not going to get another dad. And at 15, these kids understand. They will know that mom or dad was the one why our life went like this.
So after, like you said, the 6 years going down, they cannot easily leave their parents unless something else. So
Yeah,
from 6 going up,
even
who should like what they consider?
no, the law
for
says
someone to
the law says
file or
that
to stay
children
with
below 6 years are supposed to remain with their mothers.
their mothers.
Then I brought in that however thing.
Yes, from the
If it-
however
yes,
thing,
yes.
I want to understand.
Now
from
they are-
6 going up, those kids who are above 6, how does the decision comes in play before we decide who takes the kid until even someone
It's not you who
files-
takes the decision.
Okay, that's what I
Now,
want.
that's why I'm saying that all orders regarding custody, children, child support are always provisional in court. They are not permanent. They are not final. Why? Today, my kid, let's say, was in a nursery and child support was 200,000 or 500,000. If that kid goes to secondary school, are you going to continue paying 200?
No, you're like
That's why child custody orders are provisional. Anytime each of the parent can go back to court and request for another remedy. Yes.
and of course you never know. You might even go to a secondary and you find it's more expensive or cheaper than
And that's what I'm saying.
yeah, sure.
Yes.
So is there something else about divorce in Rwanda that you think we needed to
Yeah.
allude to before we jump into something else?
Yeah, one thing I can say about divorce in Rwanda, we have two types of divorce. We have uncontested divorce. Uncontested divorce, this is where Jen wakes up and says, innocent, enough is enough, we part ways.
No reason.
No, there must be reasons. Yeah, for the first time I saw someone was...
Because there are some people who continue to say that if you don't have a tangible reason, I have rights to deny you divorce.
Thank you for bringing it. And I think I've written about it that a gentleman said, I will not give you divorce. No. You're not a competent authority to grant a divorce. If you were having capacity to give a divorce, you would have had the same capacity to authorize our marriage. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
I get it.
Who granted the marriage? Who authorized the marriage?
It's the one who can easily even
The
authorize.
sector, the government, the body, a competent body. No one should lie you that divorce is granted by your husband, your wife, the notary, or the sector. This is Rwanda.
But as you said, someone can disappear.
Yeah, this is where I am going. Divorce is rendered and decided by a competent court. So, this narrative of I will not give you a divorce, I will not do what, I will not do what, let's go to the notary, that's not how it is. Divorce is granted by a competent court. Now, one other aspect I would tell you is that there are several grounds of divorce. We have adultery, we have that one, we have been talking about failing to provide household items. Bro, if you get arrested for a crime that taints the honor or the image of the family for 6 months, it can be a ground of divorce. There is GBV, gender-based violence. There are these abuses, the one I was telling you, the financial. Now let me give you another element. The other law, when it was talking about gozo muntu koncheche, the abusive abuse, it had not categorically talked about economical, financial, emotional, psychological. The new law talks about those things. You know, sometimes it is hard to bring evidence of a person who has been emotionally tortured.
It is totally very hard. By the way, unless emotionally tortured is hard, how can you bring emotion?
This is why we are in 2025. I wouldn't think that a normal thinking person would need a therapist. How many have you visited in 2025?
I've not.
Thank you.
I've not.
A person who has been emotionally tortured may need to see a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or a therapist.
Perhaps I don't have the capacity, or I don't know that.
Yeah. And in your vulnerability, that's why I said each case has separate facts. You may find that there are men or women who do not want their to go do jobs. Someone would say, you look good when you remain a household home, when you're a stay-home mom.
Definitely.
And then someone is holding a master's in what? Or now we have a lot of things on social media. Someone is a good social media manager. You know, but because of your negative sentiments, because of what you anticipate, you're blocking her chances. You know?
You anticipate to be conned or...
Yes. Not to be conned. You think that when she's a social media manager for Innocent, or when she's a brand ambassador for ABCD, she's exposed to, let's say, men, or you're exposed to ladies, as people may think, which is not the case. Another ground was on where some couples have not been living together for 1 year.
Actually, that's what I wanted to ask. So far, how is it?
Right now, it is now 1 year, but the issue would be if you knew the reason why someone went, or if someone left and informed the authorities, that one cannot be a reason. Let me give you an example. I may live here and go to Kampala, and yet I've gone to look for money. Would you say I have deserted home?
You may start as someone who is going to look for money but disappear forever.
And that's why in law we don't anticipate. You don't assume.
For as long as you're informed and you have facts about information that you shared prior going, you have defense.
So long as you be like, hey babe, I'm going to UK. I'm going to be there for 2 years. I'm looking for money. We have to go back the best interest of the family. Are you working in the guise of the family?
Are you sending
some money? But you may go reach there and you get another. you meet Miss World and you start another territory. So what I can say is that one key aspect I can bring in here is that the new law has brought in an issue which was not in the law called irreconcilable differences. We have talked about all the above. Let me give you an example. I used to have clients. Someone, if you meet like now, he's already drunk. You can't carry him. But the day of court, that gentleman is more than the guys you have seen in the movies.
Even smelling nice.
Oh, the most expensive perfume, a nice suit, well-tailored shirt, nice
to prove the innocence.
Oh, my lord, no, this is you're taking it out of context. So, I still love my wife, me, I don't drink, I even have my ABCD. It's going to be hard to carry that guy who has drunk in court on the day of court. Yeah, you get it. It's gonna be.
So you meet such
easy.
Cases, eh?
Oh man!
And those people can make your life
on
hard,
the day of court. They will come when they are like, "Wow, this one has never even raised a hand on hand." Yet the lady already has a case which was filed at the rape, that someone was slapped, abused at the home. Oh, someone is having a chronological of messages, like 1,000 messages. Do this, I hate this, body shaming, ABCD. Now, to cut the story short, in order, because it is hard to correct some of those evidence, even when you go to the society or to the Mudugudu or to the sector or to ABCD to report the case, but Innocent is more of a gentleman. We don't think he can do that.
He cannot.
But because it is you who is emotionally paining, it's you who can tell court. That's why most of these cases, they are done in camera. Family law cases. In camera does not mean that it's like though we are seated.
People analyze the face.
No. In camera, if you hear this statement again, the case has been decided in camera, or the case is going to be held in camera. That means no journalist, no public is allowed in that court. It's only you, your lawyer, the defendant, his lawyer, and court. That's what happens in family law cases. Why? There is a lot. You can't say when your new girlfriend is seated there, or when your father-in-law, or when the mother-in-law is there.
Or even people you live together on.
Or the journalists, the media, you guys in the media, one would want such a story. I remember 2023. I did one of the cases and it made me think what it means to be in a camera. I was doing one of the nice cases for one of the popular guy around East Africa, here in Rwanda. I did it, and I know it's only him and his wife who knows that they divorced. Because they needed a lot of high degree of confidentiality. Off air I can tell you what happened, but they needed a high degree. You know, there are people who are popular, either in sports, either in music, and once it bounces on table that, oh, Arafat is divorcing. Oh, mind you, that's why he's not performing well here.
The impact will be
That's
high.
why he lost this one. That's why, yes. So, those cases are done in camera. The public is not allowed. So in winding up with irreconcilable differences, at that time, your wife will stand before the judge, or you will stand before the judge and you say, I have suffered enough. Okay? It's either the choice of going home and I die. Okay? Or the court parts us apart. Okay? Because there are things which cannot be quantified. Though the degree is on us to bring the evidence, but there are things which are hard. But most of the cases I've seen is that some people in that category, they are seeing therapists. They have those messages. That's why, again, I go back to the phone.
You track the record.
Please, if you're annoyed with someone, don't send a message. You call him somewhere. You tell him like what the other president says. That go eat your mother something. Face to face.
Face to face.
Don't send a message. No. You can delete. Someone can recover it. I've seen there's a case I will share with you in the United States. A court order was issued to police to compare the Snapchat, to bring the messages which the nigga thought that had disappeared.
They all had them.
To be used. No. The court order, you see, like now, people, I don't know how they think. When you delete a WhatsApp message, the regulatory body in Rwanda can recover that message.
Definitely.
Did you know that?
I heard about it.
Yes, the regulatory body has the capacity to produce all those messages.
So, let's speak about this. Most Rwandans have continued to say that, I've heard it in public of recent, that in communities people speak about it, that today you can go to a private notary and finalize your divorce. Talk about that. Is it true or false?
That is a myth. It's not even true. It's not even what. It's a myth. One, I would say, is that
maybe a prosecutor.
I said, now you're kidding the whole thing. But now,
I mean, sorry, the advocate. Sorry, maybe
no, even the advocate cannot give you divorce. I said previously that divorce is only given by a competent authority, which is a court, and a competent court. Usually, divorce cases in Rwanda are decided and determined by the primary court. What the notary does is to authenticate, to witness what you people have written in the divorce agreement. Okay? Because after getting that divorce agreement, you file a case in court, and you are invited in court. The right word would have been summoned. You are summoned before a judge to testify, to give the validity of what is in that agreement. Really is a manifestation of what you agreed. I've seen things, people where they have an agreement and they reach in court and they say, no, I don't agree with that child support. Things have changed. I need child support of 1 million. I recently, 2023 late, I saw a case, child support. She was involving a foreigner. The foreigner was giving $800 per month as child support. A nice young lady. You paint a picture. This is a kid of 2 years. And I already wanted child support, and she said, I want $1,500. Everyone in court was like, By then, I think $1 was like 1,000 something. So people were like, why are you a bad, why are you doing this? She said, the lifestyle my daughter is living is not of what you are used to. So, men, ladies, also be aware that anytime the child support can change depending on the situation, cost of living and the standard of living someone is living.
And of course, they've lived.
Yes.
Even the standards of living they've lived with the father before they divorced, perhaps.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's we who create the standards of living that will also affect us in the future.
But again, my brother, I would still say that on that point of notary, let people not be lied. Let me say it again. The issue of I will not give you divorce, the notary gives a divorce, the executive or the sector gives a divorce, is a myth. Divorce is only given by court. Yes. Does that one answer your question?
That definitely answers my question. Because that rumor, you will still hear it.
Yes. But
you will still hear it that today there are some private notaries who you can go to and tell them, we are now separating ourselves and, do this for us.
You only got the notary to authenticate, to sign the already agreed or drafted divorce agreement. That's why I said
once it is agreed by the court.
Yes, that's why in Rwanda I said, no, not by court. That's why I said in Rwanda we have two types of divorce. We have contested, of which I've told you.
You've talked about it.
Now we have also mutual consent. Maybe that's what I wanted to note. With mutual consent, John wakes up with Mary and they say this marriage is no longer working. A new aspect in the new law is that mutual consent to divorce, previously in the past law you had to wait for 2 years. Right now the 2 years are no more. It is filed like any other case.
Mutual consent?
Yes. Even right now
How does it go?
You can wake up and say, man, babe, this thing is not working.
Let's end it.
And
also she says, yes, okay, let's end it.
Yeah. What you do, you get a paper and a pen, you do the inventory if you have properties, if you have debts, if you have children, you provide for everything in that agreement. How are they going to be dealt with? You go to the notary, you sign, then you file a case in a competent court. Now, when research shows that mutual consent divorce are resolved fast. Because you see, there are no...
But still, they are filed like any other case.
Yeah, but there are no points of contention. Court will only record you and say, hey, do you agree? Yes, I agree, fine. Decision rendered. Now, once that one is done, there is one thing I wanted to tell you before you file that mutual consent divorce. You don't need to show any reason of divorce. You don't include the fact.
You're not even asked.
You don't put. You don't have to say, now this guy did this. No. Because you have to state it that due to our agreement, we have resolved on our terms to have this done. That's where it ends. So there is no need of cross-examination and what? There is no need of counter-accusations, trading ABCD.
So once it's agreed on by the court, you just go to the notary?
No. You go to court after getting the agreement done from the notary.
Okay.
Court only comes in to give validity and binding effect to what you have agreed, you people. And court decides that divorce granted. But court is stopped only to comply with an agreement. If that agreement is not vague, is not respecting the aspiration and the best interest of the other party. Some people may say, this one goes like this, or this one goes like this, and which is which? And you find the agreement is one-sided. So that one court will not validate it. And even the notary would not advise you to go there. One last thing I would say is that previously, even mutual consent divorce and contested divorce, it was more mandatory to attend 2 conciliation hearings conciliation, I can call it them like mediation, more or less. Each mediation session was 3 months. So that means it was 6 months.
Very rigorous.
The new law eradicated, removed, erased all that. Right now, if you file a case, it goes direct to pre-trial hearing, to the hearing. There is no need of attend conciliation. Oh, do you still love your husband? No. Now when you come, court will receive you like that.
So my last question as
Yes,
we
please.
conclude this conversation is, what are the most divorce cases, reasons that most people come with?
In my experience, I've learned that...
I mean, call it causes of divorce.
Yeah, I've learned that poor communication, arising from economic hardships. Yeah, usually poverty. When we were beginning, I told you that you're going to meet this young girl at 22. You're still trying to find yourself. At 25, the body shape will have changed. She may even get a job which is better than you. What will come from there? These are now the poor communication and family conflicts. You will be like, oh, I work at Matrimonial Company Advocates. I'm supposed to leave at 6. There is jam. I don't have a car. I mean, she may come late when you don't have a job. Or she has a meeting in the weekend. They're having a retreat. A poor man, a poor lady will say, this one is going to cheat on me. Okay? Another thing would be, I can't say adultery because it is not easy to get someone pants down. What we call in flagrante delicto, caught red-handed.
Red-handed.
It's going to be hard in 21st century to get someone and you lock them in the house. No, the only evidence that is there now are these phones. This Samsung iPhone. People are sending sense and no sense and what? Nudity. I told you about the cases where someone's... Yeah. So you find that the messages sent...
Actually, today, your pants are not... It's not even supposed... People are not supposed even to see your pants out there. The phone will show your pants. You will show your pants with your phone.
I'm telling you that. You know... People, they are doing a lot of things. Someone will bug your phone. Someone will connect you on the other computer and then you find you're chatting, just the messages are going the other ends. So also the technology has contributed a lot to family breakdown. Most especially, like as you said, if you don't use it very well. If you're using this phone for other businesses and what, it will work out. But if you also use it to con other ladies or to con other people's men or ABCD, it may not resolve well, but I would say poor communication, GBV. But I've told you where it comes from. As an African boy, there is no smoke without fire.
Definitely. There's always fire when there is smoke, or there's always smoke when there's fire.
By the time we get to GBV, there is where it emanated from. Now, by the time you say you have been abused, there is where it started from. But again, poor communication. Again, not understanding the person you're marrying. Because of our body shape, nowadays that so-called used word in dash. So people think that, hey, this one is a wife material. Someone will see you with a nice beard, they're like, oh, this guy. And not knowing those things. It's just a marriage of convenience, like Napoleon and the church. Those things may vanish. You know, we have seen relationships, boom, go off. And
people marrying figures and faces.
That is it. The body shape, you go for the body shape. Or you know that there are many people who are competing for that lady, and you're like, no,
I can outcompete.
Let me use money. Put money. Yes, let me marry her next Saturday.
Yet you don't know.
Yeah, and
she has her ambition.
She was never there. Oh, he was never there. Yeah. So
poverty. Poor communication.
I wouldn't say poverty is number one, but the economic hardships. And lack of trust. Lack of trust in the marriage couples. Excuse me, in the marriage couples also.
I'm sorry to say, but I know someone who said even girls of today, I was speaking to someone. I was like, why most cases now, most people are divorcing is because today women are really hyped into so many things. They want to live a life of other people. So if the man they marry cannot afford that life a friend is living, itself is going to create. The other one needs this. The husband can provide this. She wants to be in a group of socialites. The husband doesn't want that. And the husband perhaps does not even have the capacity.
Yeah, off air, I told you, if you are a 24-year man, you have just finished your university, you have just finished your school, you have just gotten your first job, you're getting those figures. Don't think you're in a comfort zone. Because if you're marrying a lady who's 25 and below, then you need a lot. We have a lot to discuss.
They should look
just look at that. No, they shouldn't look for me, but they should think about themselves. The reason is this: a lady at 23, 22, she's looking at more of material things. I'm telling you, even at 30, things may happen. But a gentleman at 24, 25, what do you have?
Nothing.
Trust me, what do you have?
Nothing.
If you have a job, trust me, you're still at beginning. Huh?
Maybe you might.
Yeah, but how many? The percentage? Because me and you, the benefit of this is tell the people the truth. The statistics can tell.
Definitely.
You are out of university 22, 23, 24. You are lucky you have gotten the job. You have seen a lady who is looking nice, body shape. She's also finishing university. You're like, we go. Now, at 27, you cannot buy iPhone 15 or 16.
They will be 18.
No, her friends are going to Zanzibar for a vacation. The so-called people whom you married together the same day, they are in Dubai enjoying vacation.
She's watching because social media
you
can
are
fit.
saying, babe, we will do it. Yeah, we agree. Things happen. Miracles are still coming for the few. But you need to think. Because the social media of today has changed things. Everyone is material. That is why I told you, if you can't buy that phone, Arafat will buy it. And then you will ask, who bought you this phone? She will say, since you couldn't buy, someone bought it for me.
How does someone tell you that?
It may not come like from the words of innocence like that. But if she told you it is the brother who bought it.
Nothing. You would do nothing, definitely.
And then remember, the lack of trust.
Starts there.
You will need to open her phone. That's where issues start. Lack of trust.
To conclude,
yes.
As a take home, how should I avoid divorce at my home?
Yeah, trust is number one. Trust. And then also learn to forget and forgive. Sometimes men, they say sorry even when they have not done something in order to save the day.
Definitely.
Yeah. And live within your means. Don't promise someone's daughter miracles. When we were growing, people used to tell us that someone got married on a borrowed mattress. When a lady went to the bathroom to bathe, you see those, for us who grew up in the villages, the bathroom could be outside the house. So someone came and picked the mattress and took it, and they put those sack of coffee, which we, and I said, oh, babe, the mattress has been stolen. But because my sister could not go back, she continued. Few people will buy that story today in 2025. Live within your means, be trustful, avoid anything that can harm your family. Yes.
So respect the decision you took, because
absolutely
it's more
it's
of
an
a
agreement,
decision.
like
it's
as you said, when you are getting married. Yeah.
So for our viewers, we appreciate your time. We appreciate for watching our podcast. Today, we've had Lawyer Innocent in our podcast, and he has shared a lot of knowledge about, family law concerning actually divorce. And please go listen, watch, and comment. We appreciate your time. We don't take it for granted. We see you are commenting, you are viewing our videos. See you next time. But please check out this video. It's very key. He has educated a lot about divorce in Rwanda. See you next time. Bye for now.